David Anderson has become synonymous with global black wealth. Whether he's shaping policies at the World Economic Forum, playing key roles within political circles on both sides, mastering the art of building unshakable wealth on an international scale, or breaking down barriers so that black men around the world can win. David is the world's best kept financial secret weapon. From the ghettos of Southside Chicago to the Obama White House, to the homes of billionaire moguls, David's receipts stretch well beyond million-dollar bank accounts, African royal families, or celebrity inner circles.
But I believe that they did something that all of us can do.
David's true gift is in single-handedly positioning everyday brothers to become global millionaires. Why? Because it's about damn time we own what's ours and have a real seat at the table. Money, power, respect.
I met Dave about 4 years ago. My first business cracked 7 figures, and it was actually an interesting time to meet Dave because I oftentimes say you can't just be wealthy overnight. You actually got to have somebody to teach you the game. And DA kind of stepped in and took me and my business partner under his wing and showed us how to kind of maneuver this very dangerous game that we play called business. And within 6 months, DA was actually able to help us obtain a $200,000 line of credit. And then 6 months after that, he actually helped us secure a $3 million line of credit that we were able to obtain in real estate.
After sitting down with David and going through some ideas and some concepts, in the first 6-7 months, I think we did roughly about $10 million together. It's an exceptional program, and David did something for me that no one else had ever done. He taught me the power of global expansion and really understanding the importance of an international network and how we can build on that network. Him and I have done projects that surpassed the $20-30 million mark. My life has changed in more ways than one for the better from the development of our relationship. And I'm just so happy that you have brought me in to the fold and have shown me how important the power of a network internationally from a professional perspective or a personal perspective can be. And I'm ever so grateful.
Welcome, gentlemen. Also, ladies. I know we have the ladies that, come into our sessions, check it out. I ain't got no problem with that. Welcome, ladies, as well. Hey, everybody, real quick, go into the chat, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook, go into the chat real quick and do me a favor if you can. Please go in, write, hey, I'm here, I'm in the building. I always want to know who's here, who's checking us out, right, and who's hanging out. Man, this is going to be some good stuff. I'm really looking forward to tonight. I'm looking forward to everything. I know we got the emails and texts going out, but if you are on Facebook, do me a favor real quickly. And please, if you can like this particular session, this post, please do me a favor and do that. If you are on YouTube, please hit subscribe. What's up, Paris? What's up, Christopher? Man, I love the men and women that come in here. Hey, what's up, Jay Postel? We're going to be getting to something really deep tonight. Terrence, welcome. Ephraim, thank you. Hey, everybody, please, tonight's going to be interesting. I encourage you, please like, share, whatever the case may be tonight. Let somebody know you're in the building. Let them know you're listening to 1 Million Black Men with David Anderson, because we're about to get into something real dope tonight. I sit back, guys, and I want to say this to you real quick. Terrence, welcome, man. Angu, I want to say something real quick to you guys, real quick, man. I actually have to sit sometimes. Now, a lot of my content, I want you to know, and you guys, the content we have on here, you won't find. You will not find this content duplicated, right? If it is, somebody duplicated me. You will not find this. You can't chat GDP this. You can't Google this, right? It is from true life experience. It's from true being in the game, taking the hard knocks, losing millions, and also gaining millions, and what it really takes to win in this world, but particularly in this session, what it takes to win in this world and in America and around the world as a Black man, a Black person, a person of African descent, and what it takes, and just some of the nuances you have to go through. And so tonight, I was sitting back and I was talking to my team, and I was like, man, you know what I got to talk about? We're going to go through the team in the back office. You can put this up just in words real quick. we're going to go through a series over the next couple of weeks. You're going to want to check this out. And this is important. It's going to, so this, what we're going to talk about is going to help you make money because it's going to help you avoid a lot of pitfalls so you don't lose money as well. We're going to be talking about what I call the 7 deadly sins of business, okay? The 7 deadly sins of business. And tonight we're going to get on, like, we're going to talk about this greed thing. We're going to talk about greed in context, but how to avoid. I just want to know real quick in the chat, if you have ever done business or done something with somebody and they got greedy on you, I just need you to real quick, for the people, put a 1 in the chat, put a 1 in the chat, put a 1 in the chat. If you ever been in a situation where literally there was money on the table, everybody could have ate real good, everybody could have done well, but somebody's greed killed the opportunity, killed the deal, killed the money, killed the situation. Please, brothers and sisters, put a 1 in the chat. Okay, I got some 1s in the chat. I got a 100 in the chat, okay? So let's talk about this in context of this thing about greed. Now, let me be straight with you. Capitalism over the last couple hundred years, which has been an amazing system for all of us around the world, is really, let me just be straight with you, is beneficial because there is a sense of greed in the sense of people wanting to excel and climb the economic ladder in order to provide a better future for their family, but also a better future for their legacy and their children. One of our goals is to help you do wealth creation for 7 generations. So, like, that's a real thing, okay? So there's a level of what I call, you could call it greed or you could call it responsibility that parents have to their children, that people have to themselves to say, hey, I want to be the best me. But there are situations and circumstances where you have to start to check yourself and also check others because, man, that money greed thing is crazy. So there is a scripture that people talk about all the time. And they say, oh, man, you know, money is evil or something like that. The scriptures say the love of money, to love it, is the root of all evil. The love it, okay? But it also says in the scriptures, it says that money answers all things. How can those two things be congruent? How can people love it and destroy lives? And also it can answer a whole bunch of problems because they both exist and they both are true, right? You get too deep into where everything in your life is money, 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 money. It can destroy you. But you also, in having that bag and having that money, man, it can solve a lot of issues. Like right now, somebody got a situation like, man, my God, I got to go pick up my kid. I got to get my kid from daycare before the daycare charge me extra. I got to do blah, blah, blah. You know what, man, if you had somebody that was a driver, if you could afford a nanny, if you could have somebody, guess what? You wouldn't have that problem. It would answer that thing. You feel what I'm saying? You feel what I'm saying? Somebody's stressing out because somebody died in the family. And they stressing out trying to pool money because, man, we got to bury grandma. We got to bury granddad because, why? Because there isn't capital. There isn't money, okay? So money does answer a lot of things. However, if you love it too much, man, it also creates a lot of evil. So let's get into it real quick because I want to educate. Just a quick recap. Last week, we talked about, man, the men that we stand on shoulders of. We talked about Reginald Lewis, for you all that were here. We talked about Kenneth Chenault. We talked about John H. Johnson, the founder of Jet and Ebony magazine. We talked about, my gosh, we talked about so many great men. We talked about the guy, Tom Warner. Somebody help me out. Tom Warner. Dick Parsons, right? And we talked about Mr. Dangote from Africa, and what he's done in these men and how they have trailblazed not only for the culture, for African people, for the black race, and made an example of what you can accomplish and what you can do in the last 30, 40 years. So we stand on their shoulders and we thank them for what they've done. But tonight, we're going to talk about this greed. Remember last time we talked about leverage to buy. What was leverage to buy, gentlemen? Leverage to buy. Leverage real estate and cars, right? Property assets. We talked about leverage buyouts, private equity, and how Reginald Lewis, who was the first really black billionaire that we have on record, period, first one ever, how he did a leveraged buyout in Europe, right? Why do white guys, remember the book, Why Do White Guys Get to Have All the Fun? He bought out one of the largest grocery chains in Europe, and he did it through private equity, right? Remember that, we talked about that. And so I want us always, we go through technical concepts to help us be more successful in our lives while we also go through real things that we have to deal with every day. So let's talk about this greed thing. Man, I'm ready. Let's go. So, character number one when it comes to greed. Here we go. Character number one. You have to avoid these characteristics when it comes to people and greed. If you don't, you will get hit. All right. Number one. Oh, also, while you guys are here, I should mention, I forgot to mention, I'll be having him come up soon. There's a guy that, it's funny, this guy, he had been asking me to kind of do some mentorship with him and stuff for a while, actually for about a year. I respect this man a lot. This man flew out from Miami to Chicago to meet with me on some things, and I was busy doing some stuff. We actually never met. He was not disenchanted, and we stayed connected. When we launched 1 Million Black Man, he told me straight up, he said, bro, look, I'm telling you right now, I got to meet with you. We're going to tell his story soon, but I want to congratulate him, but we're going to have him come on. He's been doing okay, doing decent in business, whatever. He just closed a $166,000 contract. Somebody put a 100 in the chat, right? He just closed a $166,000 contract. Somebody put a 100 in the chat. I won't give his name yet, but we're gonna have him come up and talk about it. Got a contract, decent margins, not all the margins that I wanted necessarily or would have wanted, but it's definitely, let me put it this way. He once everything finishes, he's gonna make more in a month, right, than he did in a couple months in his job. And he's a pretty good six-figure earner. But that's the things that you can do. That's what I'm excited about, to see brothers and those of us win and do amazing things in our lives. But he's going to come forward probably in the next couple of days. So greed, first thing, here it is. Be very careful. This one is easy to cite because this person is pretty simple, right? Number one, you avoid. Here we go. Avoid. Okay. Avoid money, people. All right. Avoid money, people. What I'm talking about, right? If you were around people, you with someone trying to do something, right, and all they talk about is money. I'm not talking about their goals. So there's a difference between people who are like, yo, they got a goal. Hey, man, my goal is to have 10 million real estate. I'm just focused on my 10 million in real estate. Hey, my goal is to build my $1 million business. I'm focused on hitting $1 million in revenue. Now, that's a different thing. I'm talking about people who are just money people. Sometimes in the feminine category, you classify them as gold diggers, right? But I'm going to use the other word, and I'm going to call these guys, if they're guys, I'm going to call them gold niggas, right? Well, you guys know what I'm talking about. I'm going to call them gold niggas, okay? Because what it is that they don't understand the full complexity, right? Hello, everybody. They don't understand the full complexity of business. They just care about the money. They don't understand operations. They don't understand finance. They don't understand accounting. They don't understand anything. All they care about is money. Not their what I call contribution. They care about money, right? These are people that, because money passes in front of them, okay? Let's say, man, you got a thing going on, whatever it is, you about to make a nice check, you about to get a quick 10 grand, a 5 grand, 100 grand, $1 million, whatever the case is, and because the money passes in front of them, they believe that they deserve a piece. That's the people I'm talking about. You have to avoid those individuals, because those individuals, they will screw you. They will cut you off. They will cut your throat for money. They will, listen to me. Guys, look, if you think I'm lying, please go to the chat. If you've ever run into a money person, please put a 1 in the chat. Give me a 1 in the chat. Give me a 1 in the chat if you have dealt with a money person and they end up not being somebody really good to partner with or to work with in some way. Okay? Man, there's ones coming in the chat. You've been through it, huh, Brian? You've been through it, right? I understand what you're saying, right? You've been through it. Those people are people that are, right? They call gold. Thank you, Kevin. They call them gold ninjas. That's the best way to put it. Call them gold ninjas, right? Gold ninjas. So, number 2, real quickly, right? The second person you want to avoid is this. The person of unrealistic expectations. Unrealistic expectations. They live in a better word. It's a fantasy person. Okay? Why do we avoid that person? Why do we avoid Mr. Unrealistic Expectations or Mr. Fantasy? Because they don't understand what it actually takes to execute the contract or the deal or the project or the business. They just goes back to the money. They have unrealistic expectations. Okay? Unrealistic expectations. One thing I'll tell people all the time is that when you are going into things, you always want to discount a little bit of what you're doing. So if you think, hey, I can make $1 million a year, you got to prepare mentally that, hey, it might be only 800,000. It might be only 900,000. Hey, this deal is going to do $10,000. I'm going to do a $10,000 flip real quick. It might only be 7,000. It might only be 6,000. But the unrealistic expectation of fantasy person, they're like, oh my God, bro, no, we're going to do 30. We're going to do 30. We're going to do 30. Okay. I'm cool with the hype. I'm cool with the encouragement, but let's get realistic on what we can actually do, especially when it comes to execution. Why? Because the same unrealistic expectation they have for what has not been done yet, once you start working, they're going to have unrealistic expectations. They're the person that's going to call you up on the phone and be like, hey, Willie, man, we ain't did that yet. What's going on? Why we done that yet? That should have been done yesterday. You're like, bro, we gotta do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 first. Oh man, no man, that's the problem. Man, we ain't got Dude, I'm saying something. I did a deal recently. Can I tell y'all something? I did a deal with a person with unrealistic expectations, and I knew better. I knew better, guys. I can tell you this because I experienced it. I go through it. I've been through it. I've hit my head twice, and it cost me every time. Man, I lost about 20 racks, 20,000. Because I dealt with somebody that had unrealistic expectations. They thought we could buy something, we're going to sell something real quick. It was a quick flip, blah, blah, blah. And I was sitting back like, I don't know. I don't know if we can move this like that. I don't know if we can buy that product and flip this product and turn that 20 into 45. We could do it, but it's going to take at least 3 months. No, man, I got it. I'm telling you, we're going to do it in 1 week. 1 week, we're going to have it out. 1 week, give me the 20,000. 1 week, we're going to knock it out. And guess what happened? 0. Nothing. Nada. I'm asking you guys, save your 20 bands, save the 50 bands, the 10 bands, the 2 bands, the $200, whatever the case is. Avoid the person with unrealistic expectations. Number 3. Hey, this is a big one. This number 3, you can only learn this through experience. This number 3 I'm about to give you right here, I got scars. Whips for this one. You ready for this? Avoid the person who has piety, but actually greedy. Avoid the person who has a whole lot of piety. Like, well, David, what are you talking about? Let me give you some examples. Avoid the person who, now you're talking about business, you're talking about doing something, whatever. And all of a sudden they're like, you know what? Hey, you know what? Let's just pray real quick. Let's pray. Well, okay, you want to pray over the business? No problem. Let's pray over the business. Okay, right? And then they're like, well, I believe that God, this, that, and the other. I believe that Allah, okay, Allah, assalamu alaikum, ashallah, right? Like avoid the person who has a lot of piety. Like they look down on people who make money. How dare you? I mean, guys, how dare we want to make money? We shouldn't make any money. We should be giving away the product. Okay, we shouldn't be making money. We shouldn't be participating in enterprise here. So they have a level of piety, a level of sanctimonianisms, like sanctimonious. They are people that operate like they don't care about money at all. I'm just doing this because, I'm only doing this because of the goodness of my heart, and I don't care about money at all. Right? Run, Forrest, run. Somebody said it right. Run, Forrest, run. Like this person, be very careful, because this person, you think you can trust them. You think they are on you. You think, oh my gosh, there's no way. You think, and this is the person that will cut your throat as soon as money hit the table. I'm not telling you theory. I'm telling you what I know, black man. This person is very dangerous because you get sucked in. You go, oh my gosh. You're just like, oh my God, I found the perfect person. They got all purpose. They're all for me. Everything's great. I would rather deal with actually somebody who's money than to deal with a person that has piety, but actually greedy. Because your expectation, you're like, okay, they're not gonna cut my throat like that. But actually, they're just waiting till you turn your back and they're gonna stab you in the back. All right. So please understand this. Guys, if this has been good so far, we're going to get to the second half of this real quick. But if you're learning something, if you feel like this has been helpful, just these 3 points right here, put a 100 in the chat. Put a 100 in the chat. Give me 100 in the chat. All right. So let me put you guys on a quick secret. Quick secret. This is for free. I wasn't even going to have this a part of the lesson. Thank you, everybody, for the 100s, 100. Somebody said 100,000. 100,000. Hey, look, quick secret. And I'm going to say this to you, and some of you guys are going to get it now. Some of you guys are going to get it later. Some of you guys, it won't be applicable. It's going to be all type of different things for different people, okay? But let me give it to you now to help you and give you some insight. Man, we got a lot of 100s in the chat across YouTube, Facebook, a lot of 100s in the chat. Thank you, gentlemen. The same people you can make $1,000 with, it doesn't mean you can make $10,000 with. The same people you can make $10,000 with, it don't mean you can make $100,000 with. The same brothers that you made $100,000 with, it don't mean you can make $1 million with. And the same brothers that you made $1 million with, it don't mean you can make 10 or 100 million with. Now I'm giving you this. I'm giving you this wisdom for free. I'm giving you. It's like when Jay-Z in the last album he said, like, I'm giving you this. I'm giving y'all this thing for $9.99. I'm giving y'all this. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving you this right for free. I'm putting you on game. So when it happens to you, you're not shocked. You don't go hysterical. You heard it from David Anderson first, on top of 1 million black men, right? Right? It's a free 99. Thank you, Keith. Look, the people you can make 100,000, $1 million, it doesn't mean you can continue to make money with them at higher levels. And I'm going to tell you why. And I don't know the reason why. I wish I could tell you why. I wish I could tell you why, black man. There is something in the brain that happens. Now, I've been able to make tens of millions of dollars with different people, do different things. But I'm going to tell you something that happens in the brain. God will have to help me to understand it. I don't understand it. But I've watched people made 10,000 with them, no problem. It was straight. All of a sudden, trying to make 100,000 with them, boy, they tried to cut my throat. People I made 100,000 with, no problem. Went to make 1 million with, boy, I almost lost my life. Almost lost my life. Listen to me. I can't explain the brain. Some of you guys here may have some of this too, but you got to check yourself. This is part of the greed thing you can't measure. All of a sudden, see, people they think they'll be a certain way when there's a certain amount of money on the table. They think they'll be a certain way when there's a certain amount of money on the table. But when the money actually get on the table, something happens inside of them. They're like, oh my gosh, I might never make this money again. Oh my gosh, let me get this money right now. Like they can't help themselves. Okay, I'll give you a quick story and I'll go to the next part. I had a brother I was doing a deal with. Actually, he's actually on the testimonials. We were doing some business together. I was showing him some stuff, everything else, and I never forget. You know, I'm one. If I do business with you, if I do a deal with you, something like that, I like to pay you your money. I don't like to hold on to other people's money. I really don't. When there's money that's owed to you, I do not like to hold on to I don't like to hold on to your money. Because I don't like people to hold on to my money. When I want my money, I want it to go. Someone said people get amnesia too. Yeah, that's right. Always put it in writing. That's right. That's a conversation for another day. But yes, people get amnesia. So did this deal, true story. I mean, Reggie and I, whatever. I had about I don't know, 1.7 million in cash of his money. This is a true story. I had 1.7 million of cash of his money because we did the deal, we did blah, 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 whatever it is. It was his money, cash, right? So I'm like, yo, hey, I'll get to the bank tomorrow. I don't know if they're going to let me transfer it all, but man, I'll get you. Hey, I'm sending you definitely a couple 100,000 and I'll go every day and I'll get you your money. And he said something to me so powerful, and probably the reason why is even today, we still have a great business relationship. I never experienced this. And when I experienced it, I said, man, you know what? That's why you don't work with greedy people. This is why you don't work with greedy people. I think, imagine I'm holding $1.7 million of another man's money that he earned off a deal. And he said to me, hey, you know what, man? Right now, man, just hold that for me. Just hold it for me, and I'll come back, whatever. I said, what? I said, man, I ain't holding your money. I ain't about to hold your money. This is $1.7 million. You wish me hold it for you, right? What are you talking about, right? He said, no, man. He said, look, I trust you. He said, Dave, if we can't trust each other with this, how are we going to trust each other when it's 10, 20 million? And I sat back and I said, my nigga, my ninja. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, okay. All right. Let me know when you need it. I'll keep it there. Cool. We all good. He hit me up like 3 weeks later, like, man, let me get 700,000 of that. Okay, no problem. 100%. Hey, you know what? Let me get this, that. And it took a couple months, but we got everything squared up. But it was amazing to be in business with somebody when the money hit the table and they were like, you know what? I tell you what, man, I trust you. Just hold that. Now, obviously, he had trust in me and whatever. I was trustworthy, I guess. But the reason why I'm telling you that story is because, guys, if you avoid this greedy stuff, you will be shocked at the more opportunities and the more money that comes to you. When you're dealing with people, especially people of wealth and means and power, okay? A lot of times, it's not how smart you are. It's that, man, I can trust that person. Man, they are loyal. And again, loyalty is always, ambiguous in what loyalty is. But when it comes to the money, if you are trustworthy with money, bro, it goes a long way. So I just want to give you that little secret. Not everybody you can make money with at certain levels, you can continue to make money with. Hey, guys, if this is so good, give me some quick feedback. Let me get a 100 in the chat. If this has been good, give me a 100 in the chat. All right, we're going to close this out real quick and go through the second part. You're going to want to listen to this. So how do you gauge yourselves when you're doing business with people and all kind of stuff? You're doing deals, you're doing all kind of things. How do you do that? Okay. How do you do that well? You ready for this? Here we go. Number one. Okay. Number one, you're going to look at the market rate. Okay. Look at the market rate. I was talking to somebody today And I was trying to give them some advice because they were charging a certain rate for something that was very high, right? And what they were trying to do, they charged a high rate because they were trying to make sure that they covered themselves and their expenses and some other things that existed. And when I told them, I said, look, you can't do that. The market was like 40 to 50%. They were charging like 70%. I said, look, if you charge 70%, the problem is that you're too above the market. And somebody's going to say, not knowing all the details, they're going to tell that person that you scammed them. And then you're going to have the conversation about scamming them. And they're going to be able to prove it because you charged them a percentage that was way above what the market was. Okay? So when you're doing things, guys, understand the market that you're in. Now, you have to calculate your risk. Like, look, if I'm loaning money to somebody with no collateral, I have to charge a higher interest rate than somebody with that collateral. Look, with no collateral, let's say the rate is 10%, right? With no with collateral. Well, if you bring no collateral, I may have to charge you 25, 35%, but that's also the market, right? The market is around that space. Doesn't mean you can't charge people more or you can't negotiate more, but make sure you understand the market rate. Imagine, ladies and gentlemen, what's the rate? Somebody put in the chat. What's the rate for real estate transactions? What do brokers and realtors get for real estate transactions? What's the percentage range? Somebody put in the chat. You know what it is, right? What is the range? Okay, the range is 3 to 6%, right? 2 to 6%, depending on what the deal is. That's what people pay. 2 to 6% for real estate transactions. If you're doing a multi-million dollar deal, sometimes you only get paid 1% because it's, it's higher, okay? Right? So if somebody came to somebody and they charged them 20% on a real estate deal or 15%, what's going to happen? Someone will say, you paid 20, you paid 15%, you paid 20%. So now they feel stupid, they feel dumb, they feel taken advantage of. And then what happens, people? Now you're dealing with all the drama. So please do look up. Do make sure you know market rate. Number two, understand, okay, what the contribution is. Okay, contribution percentage. What do I mean by that, right? Contribution is, okay, sweat, equity, financial equity, and knowledge equity. So you have sweat equity, you have financial equity, you have knowledge equity, okay? These are all contributions to something and deserve a percentage. What do I mean by that, right? If you let's say you have ideas are rough, but let's just say you have a small operation, right? And then somebody says, hey, I'm willing to put up $100,000 for the business. That is financial equity. But if they say, hey, I'm willing to put up $100,000 in the business and I'm willing to give you my expertise or knowledge about the business because I have it, okay? And I'm able to give you sweat equity. These are all different categories. I had an investment I did. I gave up some money and I gave them financial equity and I gave them knowledge equity. I did not give them much sweat equity, okay? So for that business, because it was a new business, it was a high risk business, right? In some cases, I would take probably 40, 50%, right? Because it was a new business, high risk, okay? But because it was somebody I knew, everything else, I took whatever, 20 to 30%. The point is that understand the equity, a contribution percentage, and don't get greedy about this. Don't get greedy about this, right? Because if you only put up financial equity, but somebody else is putting up all the sweat equity, they're putting up all the sweat equity day in and day out. They're in the business and working, and you only put up the financial equity. Eventually, they're going to feel cheated and exhausted. So you have to figure out that mix, right? I will tell you right now, financial equity alone, if it's a new business, financial equity alone is usually at the minimum worth 10%. At the minimum. if it's a new business, at a minimum 10%, maybe more, depending on the risk and of the business. But sometimes 10, 20, 30% financial equity. Knowledge equity, knowledge is usually worth somewhere between 1 and 5%. I very rarely have seen the market say, oh, because someone has expertise and they don't put any sweat equity in, they're worth 10%, 15%. Well, all you're bringing is the knowledge, which is very helpful. The knowledge is very helpful because it helps avoid traps. It gives you insight, everything else. But if you're only giving knowledge and no sweat equity and no financial equity, it's usually somewhere between 1 and 5% for knowledge. Okay. So let me break this down in just a minute. And then sweat equity is the most important thing because that's somebody's labor. So break this down. Sweat equity is worth somewhere between, usually, right? Somewhere between 30. Again, I'm talking about small business. I'm not talking about if you're running say 30 to 80%, depending on the circumstance of what you're doing, right? Financial is worth somewhere between 15 and usually 50%, right? And knowledge or expertise is worth somewhere between and all right. So I want you guys to have these numbers so you can have a sophisticated when you're dealing with these type of situations. Okay. Not 15 to 50, sweat equity is 30 to 80. Understand. But they money in. You know what it takes to make it takes equity usually to make financial equity. So helps create money and financial equity. You have to measure financial gives you their money. They're technically giving you their labor, gives you their money. They're giving you their labor. That's why financial sweat equity and knowledge. Guys, so not get all. Last one. This is real easy, right? You look at the market rate. Deal with the contribution. Okay, figure that. And lastly, always please do this. Sometimes you just have to walk away. Know when to fold them. You got to know when and know when. Right. So sometimes it's better off just to walk away. Like you can't come. It's there. It don't seem. Just walk away. Just walk away. So the connections not breaking up anymore. Man, look, appreciate. We're gonna close this out, please, man. I hope to you helped us again at 1 Million Black Men. We are do 3 core things. 3 core things. One, here 2, right? Help freedom psychologically. Number 2, help you freedom, financial freedom. What is financial freedom? Is being able to buy whatever you want. Okay. Number 2, that is essential. Is being able to own the thing people buy. Wealth creation for generation. I know it got better, but I appreciate tonight. Care. Remember, I was way too crowded.
Calling all black men. This is a call to action. This is a call to action. An action call. Calling, calling, calling all black men. This is a call to action. This is a call to action. An action call for 1 million black men. I am Kwesi to put you on a call path to win. This is not a Zoom call or a call on Facebook Live. Though we are virtual, we are live. Not a call on TikTok like MLB black men, we are on the clock. Not a call from Snapchat. Move back, my bat. We are on first base to Isaac Hayes Jr. fan base. We have an eye on third base. Grand Slam, not a call from Instagram, as we don't need validation with blue checks. We are the true checks. We do checks. We write checks. We are the right checks. We do family checks. We check in on our sons and our daughters. We are black men who walks on waters because our children like to FaceTime. We are black men who FaceTime. Let's FaceTime. This is still not a call from an Android or an iPhone. It is extraterrestrial to phone home. I know sometimes black men, we have to travel around the world to be appreciated at home. But you are not alone. You are in the each one, teach one green zone, where the elusive weapon is the truth. We are the black truth. We are Paul Pierce, the truth. We are the loot. We are 1 million black men strong. We will get along as we landline. We walk across their blue and red line. Now this call is from a landline with rotary numbers and a coiled cord. We are 1 million black men on one accord. This cord and phone transmits a dial tone, whether a local call or a call of long distance. Regardless of the distance, it connected us. Social media unconnected us. Our homes need us. They soul feed us. And not just food that give us niggas itis. I write this, our homes bleed sweat, tears for us. Black men, it is up to us. It is on us, not to just procure the bag. Buddha bless one, share it with me. Get the info under your afro, bro. And establishing sovereignty to be a one united bank for economic just us. Black men, we must set up a family trust to an estate, because right now everything is at stake. Because we can't lead from behind, from your behind to your mind. They are public with their relevance as they use artificial intelligence in this age of information. Elon Musk bought Twitter to gather more of our information. So if I have to be the Starlink, I will break the Starlink for 1 million black men. But I won't condone our culture with misuse of our information. So I grant you David Anderson for this financial literacy education. DA went from shy Southside streets to JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs on Wall Street. From Chicago State to Harvard. At 19, he fathered the economics in his family house. DA served in President Obama administration at the White House. He lived in China for 3.5 years, learning the Chinese economy, the renminbi. To the British pound, black men, let's get this pound. To the European euro, we NBA step into the euro. To the Uganda chilling, black men, let's be empowered by our billing and be willing to learn and understand. Money is just a tool to build unshakable wealth. 7 generations deep that DA will teach that we can compete in an economy beyond that's local. Black men, we must think global. So I present to you David Anderson to put you on this financial literacy path to win. Welcome to the movement. 1 million black men.